Modded. Right guys, welcome back. Hope everybody had a happy and safe non-denominational secular holiday of your choice. And we're right back into the blasters, and we've got quite a few in. First up is Arisen with his chaos he received in a trade. He's done some minor painting and weathering to it, added a sling ring, and he uses it in a local LARP. Very nice clean paint job, and still with the safety of the orange tip. He then has a Chronos, which he's done. He's added a spring upgrade and an early copy of the Titan Forge Mega XL kit. And he says he chose a yellow and blue blaster specifically to simplify the pending Voltex cosmetics. This next one is a Max Striker. It has a spring tuning cap and scar from Out of Darts, all chosen in order to tune it for this same LARP he was playing. The cosmetics are simple, two kinds of simple metal can rattle, some red Sharpie and a clear coat. I add smudges of silver Sharpie wherever the paint suffers damage from use. And it looks very, very nice. And the detailing on it, especially that collapsible stock, is very nice. I reckon that'd paint up really, really well to for a movie prop or some such thing. Really nice work, mate. Right guys, next up we've got Axel S, and he's done the old good, bad and ugly trio of blasters, all based on X shots. The first is the good, which is a turbo advance apparently, modded into a 2-shot 20-round shotgun. It has a stock mount courtesy of an Elite Phoenix along with the scope, and he believes this stock itself is from the Modulus line, and I do believe you're correct. And he's put a stock box magazine into stock simply to make it, bulk it out and make it look good, and why not? That's his primary, of course. His secondary is what he calls the turbo. It's a turbo fiber that's been minimised. The barrel is cut down and the thumb hole stock removed. It's essentially a 20-round shot strong arm, and he says he uses it for things when things get ugly, so he calls it the ugly, which is fair enough. And finally, he's got the bad, which is an X-shot recoil. It's his last-ditch sidearm, and things get really bad, and I've exhausted both my primary and secondary. Essentially, it's my suicide jolt. Okay, fair enough. I wonder if you get points in HVZ for killing yourself. Very nice work, mate. I like the way you've kept the original colours and just weathered them down. And he's weathered it very heavily, or weathered all of them very heavily, with such things as brown and liquid shoe polish for dirt and grime on the white parts, dry brushed yellow white on the blue parts, also added some silver highlights here and there with a chrome pen. I do hope he sealed them all, or he'll be getting brown and black marks all over himself. But yes, that looks very good. And even you got to have shown a little bit of skill there with your chrome pen weathering. You're touching it in all the right places. It looks very, very good. Right, next up we have one from Brandon. He sent me these photos. He hasn't sent a lot of information, but here it is. My half-dart minimised Stryfe. It's running Neo Rhinos to Merlin dual stage full auto. It's hitting around 180 to 200 FPS, custom hydro dipped, and it looks very, very nice. The wood grain effect is well painted. I'm assuming that's some sort of plastic part. You can't help but noticing the foregrip seems very AK-47-ish. Man, perhaps that was the whole point of it. Quite a good looking little blaster, very nice and compact. Very nice. And here we have another fellow of a few words, Jeremy Z. He sent in these photos of a cut down Nerf Vagabond attached to a Delta Trooper barrel attachment. I'm not sure, I believe that's supposed to make it look like a Chris Vector. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure you will. And he says this barrel attaches has made the whole thing into a master key. So he's just sent a few sort of close-up photos of the master key itself. Looks pretty cool. His paint job is always quite nice. He does a really good job there. Left a lot of orange, so it's obviously a gaming blaster. But it looks very, very good. I like the faux rotating barrels, or maybe they even do rotate. Even some of the body shapes on the master key to catching my eye, the curvature and everything. It'll take paint really well and look really good dirtied up, but you know, that's me. But very nice work, Jeremy. Very nice. Looking forward to your next one. Okay, here's another interesting one. This is from Joe B. It is apparently a 7-year-old's Christmas present. Well, lucky 7-year-old, that's what I say. It looks really, really nice. It's a rival takedown. It's been modified with the spring cut down as much as he could without letting it rattle, so just to make the priming a little bit easier for the little fellow. The ratchet lock and the priming indicator were removed and their holes were puttied over. He even used putty to get rid of the Nerf logo. Now, that's an interesting idea. Instead of sanding it off, just building it up and blending it in. Might give that a try. The paint job is a grey base coat followed by a light blue, then white, then black, then darker blue to give the, he calls it electric angular camo pattern. I think they call it splinter camouflage, Joe. He says he sees lots of flaws. I see a beautifully crafted blaster, perfectly modified for the intended user, with no flaws. Very nicely done, Joe. I really, really like it. I might try that colour scheme on something of mine. Well done. Here we have another one from that creative young lad. I butcher his name every time. I believe it's Mekowski. And all he said in his email is it's a lever action rough cut. As I said, he's very creative with some of the things he does. And this is the only photo he sent. So infer what you will from that. But if it is a lever action rough cut, well done. Impressed. Very impressed. Here we have another Stryfe done by the Modding Wizard. It's his first Stryfe modification apparently. The internal specs are 2 Fang revamps powering 2 Daybreak flywheels in 42mm 3D printed Daybreak cages. Fully re-ride with 16 AWG wire and running off 2S LiPo batteries. Shoots around 130-140 FPS with good quality darts. And he's called it the Confetti Fiasco, which is a brilliant name. Perfectly suits the paint job. And I'm guessing from all those details he sent me, he's more of an internal spec guy than a cosmetics guy. That's for sure. He's only sent the one photo. He did send a movie, but it was corrupted somehow in the send, so I can't even upload that. But there we go. Another way to go. It just looks good. It's very, very nice. I like it. Okay, next up we have a blaster from Rick V. He says this is Captain Slug's Mega Burn design. The grip, foregrip, and the AYY LMAO burn files by Slug on Thingiverse. It's got a K26 spring tuned with Teflon tape under the O-ring and on the plunger base ram. Enlarged M-Rod scar barrel, FPS is around 170 foot per second. Very nice, very clean, straightforward. He sent another photo with a different, I think it's just a muzzle, also by Captain Scar. But I think this is based on or around the Caliburn, judging from what I can read here and just the look of it. It looks, you know, mega shell, so it's a mega Caliburn, I guess. I don't know. Somebody enlighten me, please. But very nice. Quite like it. Okay, guys, next up we've got one from John Thoma. And this is just a cosmetic mod he's done. He felt that the Nerf trilogy was always pretty ugly. And we've got the before painted picture here. You can see in this before image how many different parts have gone into it, all over the place. But the paint job he's put on it, influenced by the Aliens movie, is brilliant. It really looks the part. It's highly detailed, this mod itself, little bits and pieces all over the place. I particularly love the job he's done on the folding stock. Okay, the folding part of the stock is not all that crash hot. It's a bit wobbly and loose. Maybe we can work out a way to fix that with a bit of copper piping or something. But the buttstock he's done is really, really good. It's, I can't remember what, I think it comes off a Nitron initially, and he stuck it on his folding stock and he's cut it and changed it just enough. So it's pretty visually interesting, and it actually looks like a proper triangular stock now. I'm pretty impressed with that. Very nice paintwork all over, always neat and tidy. Yeah, it's just another example of how paint just ties everything together. It doesn't really matter that much how outrageous a shape is. Once you've got a coat of paint on it, it will either blend in and it'll look really good, or you'll think to yourself, I made a mistake there, and that's when you start getting out the pliers and cutting things off and rethinking what you're doing. But in this case, this is really nice. I quite like it. Well done, John. Okay, here you go, the last one for the day. This is from Popper's Nerf, and it's a Chronos, heavily modified with a worker half dart kit, a front end off a retaliator with a pump action, with the metal bars linking to the Chronos slide, the buttstock off an Alpha Hawk, and one of the ubiquitous Nerf scopes that everybody's probably got a dozen of. It hits between 140 and 150 FPS, ACC V3 custom strung PC Scar 9-inch 1732nd brass barrel and a 13 kilogram spring. 90% of the effects were achieved with latex masking, 8% black wash and 2% dry brushing. This is really, really nice. I quite like it. The weathering is very, very strong on the silvering, which is not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just they hit this person's choice, and that's fair enough. They do this sort of weathering all the time in movies because they have to be much more heavily marked for that to show up in the film. If you've seen the specials on Star Wars, for instance, the walkers, the AT-AT walkers, when you look at them when they're doing the animations, the weathering is just looks somebody's just gone over it with a number 2 brush, just dabbing black paint on it. But you look in it in the movie, you can barely see it. But this is great. I can only imagine it would take ages to get that masking off. But otherwise, it looks, brilliant. It's a really nice, clean modification. Close up, the paintwork is really well controlled and very, very nice and neat. This Popper Smurf has obviously much more patience than I do when it comes to painting. It's just an outstanding build. Well done, Popper Smurf. Well done. And on with the slideshow.